Okay, what's going on? LBHT QB, what is going on?
It's Trust EDC season is what's going on.
Let me tell you what's going on. It is hashtag defunded. That's what's going on. Oh yeah. Look, some of you guys are gonna get emotional about this. It's gonna trigger some people. Some of y'all ain't ready for this. You haven't seen this in a while. If you're new here, first of all, hit that subscribe button. Okay, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. This might be new to you. You might be wondering, we're here early with the donations. Shook could not wait. He could not wait. Shout out to Shook. He said, now when I come to y'all hood, y'all watch my back, and when y'all come to Inglewood, I'm up front of your sack. Okay. I'm gonna front you a sack. Okay, that's a Mac 10 line. I see what's going on here. It's gonna be a Mac 10 line every week here, okay? Because Suge says B looks like Mac 10. All right, that's what's going on there. Shout out to you, Suge.
Thank you, Suge.
Everybody's ready to talk today. Everybody's ready, right? Yes. Shout out to Dave, my man. Hashtag LBHT crew.
What's up, Dave?
Yes. We got our man. Yes, Andre Mears is in the house. That's right. Mr. J the 6th. Defund what defense? Wow. D Weez is in the house. What's going on?
Emphasis.
Anybody running to this summer with the name Eric is catching these hands. Wow.
Jeez.
Look. We got a lot to talk about.
What's going on, Couch?
What's up, Couch Rider? It's essentially we're doing two topics. Okay, we have to get out here on time today. Because tonight on the Overtime Show, and if you're not a member of our Patreon, patreon.com/LBHT Show, go ahead and put up the banner B right there. Boom. Right, for as little as $3 a month, you can join in on action. But tonight is the inaugural season inaugural draft for our inaugural season of our Dynasty Fantasy Football League. All right. And we're starting the draft tonight. It's going to span over the next 2 or 3 days, maybe more, depending how fast people move.
Mm-hmm.
But we're really excited. The members are excited, and we want to get that started on time.
Yeah.
So
Hendo and Derek have been burning up the phones, making trades. Man.
Yes. They're taking it serious. This is intense. If you don't know what the Dynasty Fantasy Football League, it's essentially your team is your team. There's no redraft, right? So you draft for real, right? Your quarterback's going to be your quarterback. Your wide receivers are going to be your wide receivers, and you're just building your team up from there. It's like having a real team. It's going to be a lot of fun, all right? And if you want to be a part of that, this league is set, but look, it's early on. Possibly we could start another one, okay? And if not, at the very least, we might be able to start just like a regular redraft league later on.
Yeah,
we get closer to the NFL season. But all that, patreon.com/LBHT Show. Okay, that's what you get for the $10 tier. All right. All right. A couple things. If you're new, hit that like button. Also subscribe. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers. We have something in store for you guys. Ooh, we cannot wait. Also, right there. Oh, okay. If you want to be awesome, like Twan, who just donated $5. Appreciate you, Twan. Twan says, always help for defense. No Lamar, sad. Love show.
Thank you, Twan.
Thank you, Twan. Appreciate that. If you want to be awesome like Twan and you want to get your comment read, there are 2 ways to do that. You can hit up that pinned comment in your chat box, right? That'll take you to our stream elements. Also, right below B, $ LBHT Show. That's our Cash App. Both ways, all you got to do is make your donation, leave your comment, and you'll see that animation right next to my face. All right. Okay. And we are also, I'm going to mention this early, we are streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Shout out to all the people that are watching our Twitch, man. We're getting, they're trickling in. We're getting some followers over there. If you're on Twitch and you enjoy, our content, you just happen to be on Twitch, you don't want to switch over to YouTube, follow us on there. We'll be on there.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So we got a lot to go over, but before we start, we got a Black History fact, and B has a Black History fact for you.
Yes. So what we're going to be talking about tonight is the first slave revolt in the Americas. It took place on December 26th, 1521, in La Española, which is modern day Dominican Republic in Haiti. And it started on a sugar plantation that was owned by Diego Columbus. And you're probably thinking, oh, he's probably related to Chris. Wrong. No, he is. It's Chris, that's Christopher's son, Christopher Columbus's son, Diego. He was the owner of the plantation as well as the governor of La Española. The slaves there obviously didn't like how things were going. They marched 62 miles to go and find, to recruit other Africans to join their cause. They planned it for Christmas time because they knew all of the Spaniards would be distracted, with the holiday and everything, deep in prayer, they said. Now, there's not a lot known about the rebellion itself, but, the Spaniards called in military assistance and put down the rebellion, right? And about a year later is when they began the first what are called black codes, which are, rules or laws to govern the way black people act, the way what black people are allowed to do, where they're allowed to go. They're meant to keep black people from earning a lot, from going certain places, from participating in the society, essentially. Making black unequal, right? And so that's something that went on and continued over the next few hundreds of years. It persisted in the U.S. Beyond the Civil War. And a lot of people kind of look at the Civil War, North versus South, good versus evil, kind of fighting to free the slaves and keep slavery. But, the North didn't like black people either. They had the black codes going on in the North as well. But that's kind of what began with this slave revolt in La Española, right? And I had a quote here from the director of the Dominican, the Dominican Studies Institute at CUNY in New York, Ramona Hernandez, that I thought was, kind of interesting for, especially considering we have the Black History Facts every month. And she said, we need to commemorate this, that this happened 500 years ago, that the civil rights movement that we saw here was simply a continuation of something that our ancestors have done, so that our people continue to think that it is their job to combat what is evil in humanity. Any action that one of our people have taken anywhere, anytime to undermine what has been done to us, we need to remember it, and we need to acknowledge it so that the younger generation doesn't forget. And that's kind of the reason, to tell these stories, even though a lot of them are depressing.
Yeah.
They make you sad, make you angry, but it's important to not forget.
Never forget, man. Never forget, right? And that's why we do these facts, man. We think it's important. Our history isn't told nearly enough, right? So we like to start our show with that. Now, with that being said, look, let me get a couple of shots because you guys are already, man. You're not waiting. You're not waiting for us. You're just like, whatever. We give us what we want. Give us our red meat, okay? Let me get some shout outs here, man. Y'all are all in the chat, man. Shout out to Kimberly Harmon. It says, hey, lunch break hot take. What up, man? What's up with you, Kimberly? Thanks for coming through.
Every week.
Yes. Oh gosh, Suge Knight always look good. Also, if you want to support Brodny and Jose, join that Patreon. Yes. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. Shout out to you. And we got a donation from Hendo. Says, give me them picks. Give me them picks. Okay. He's ready, man. He's ready for tonight. Let's see what else we got here. And Ravens Online. You want to see more Hendo right there. Ravens Online, Ungatekeeper. Make sure you go subscribe, man. That's a hot channel. It is growing fast. You do not want to miss his takes, man. He is spot on. Shout out to C Iron Addict, man. Thanks for coming through. Yes. Omar B says, defund the defense. Yes, Omar B. Hashtag defund the defense. See, you're new here. Defund the defense. I'm explaining to you guys that are new. Defund the defense does not mean go out there and have a crappy defense. It means make offense your priority. Yes. Handle with another one says, I'm starting to think Moses was a diversion. Yeah. No. Yeah. That's just a little, for the offense, this all ties in. For the offense, they like to throw little trinkets out there and say, yeah, see, we're doing something for you. We're doing something for you. It's the bare minimum. That's what Morgan Moses is. It's the bare minimum, right? But defense, we have to really invest. We have to really put our money into it, right? Marcus Williams signs how many years? 4 years. It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, $70 million.
$70 million. He's a good safety, right? That within itself, I'm not mad at. It is an upgrade. We bring back Zadarius Smith on is it a 4-year, $35 million
$35
deal?
million with the max value of 50.
Max value of 50. Okay, we all love Zadarius Smith. He's tearing it up over in Green Bay, except for last year when he got hurt. And you're like, man, all these upgrades on defense. That's great. Our O-line's in shambles, right? You bring in Morgan Moses. That's great. It's better than Villanueva, but anybody is better than Villanueva. This water bottle is better than Villanueva. Okay, you can get one of these on a store, lbhtshow.com/shop. And shout out to Twan, who donated $5. Yes. I missed it. We said upgrade the offense.
Upgrade the offense.
Upgrade the offense. Yes, upgrade the offense.
What's going on, Eric?
Shout out to Eric now, man.
Very sad and frustrating to hear about another story of our suffering in America. Yeah. It's a lot of them, but it's important to tell.
But I'm long-winded here. But basically, my point is, this organization has always prioritized defense first. And it was okay when we had Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Haloti Ngata, Terrell Suggs, because they were tasked with carrying the team, right? The pressure was on them to carry the team, not the offense. That's not the case anymore. It hasn't been that way for a while. And now it's on Lamar Jackson, right? So you have to prioritize putting weapons around him, putting protection around him. But when you go out here and spend this kind of money on the defense, and it's like, oh well, we ain't got it for JC Treader, right? Or we ain't got it for this person right here, or we can't go after Devontae Adams, we can't go after Allen Robinson. Like, how much money they're gonna ask for? Yeah, they're gonna ask for the money that you just paid Marcus Williams. I'd much rather have Devontae Adams than Marcus Williams. So that's where hashtag defund the defense comes in. I'm all good with fixing the defense and making them as good as you can. But that's after the offense eats.
Yeah, and listen, going the defense heavy route was fine. What's going on, Buck? How you doing?
What's up, Buck?
That was fine when defense leading your team was a viable way to win in the NFL. It's not anymore. No. People will always say, "Oh, defense wins championships." It's not true. No. It's not true. The top two defenses in the NFL last year gave up 40 plus in the playoffs and didn't even make it to the conference championship. Right. The two teams who got to the Super Bowl had middle of the pack defenses, but they have playmakers on defense. You do need that. Yeah. Right. You've got Aaron Donald, you got the Von Miller, you've got Jalen Ramsey. I mean, Cincinnati didn't really have really playmakers on defense, but the point is that you need playmakers specifically on offense because you have to score points. Right. Yeah. You don't need a top defense. That's not going to win you games. It's not going to win you a title. Talking specifically about what Baltimore's done so far, Morgan Moses, it's a good signing, right? $5 million a year. Yeah. He's an average tackle. I think that was probably about as well as they could do in free agency, just in terms of signing someone. I would have liked to have seen them go after La'el Collins or Andre Dillard or somebody else, but they still can. Yeah, they could. But just in terms of who was available, that was probably about as well as they could do. When you move to the defense, again, Marcus Williams, good player. Not a great player, not a steal like people are saying, but I didn't think it was necessary, but fine, whatever. Okay. Right. Then we get to Zadarius Smith, and people are losing their minds over Zadarius Smith, man. And I don't get it because, I saw it a little bit yesterday with Marcus Williams signing because, this whole offseason it's been, oh, man, I don't know about Marcus Peters. I don't know about Marlon Marlowe coming back. They were hurt. I don't know how they're going to play. But then Marcus Williams gets signed, and it's, man, try and throw on us, right? It all went away. Now Zadarius Smith.
All of a sudden, their knees are fine.
Now Zadarius Smith gets signed, and you forget that he missed all of last year almost all of last year with a back injury, right? And people will say, oh, he came back. He kind of came back. He wasn't 100%. He came back in the playoff game. He played 35% of the snaps. The real problem that I have with the signing and kind of, losing your mind over the signing, getting all excited about it, is he was in Green Bay with Preston Smith. They both signed there the same offseason. Mm-hmm. They're the same age. Green Bay obviously knows both of them. They had both of them for the last 3 years. I'm going to put up their numbers here. Let me get down to it. We've got, first off, Zadarius Smith over the last 3 seasons. He's got the 26 sacks, 29 tackles for loss, 60 QB hits, 5 forced fumbles. Good numbers, right? Good numbers. We go to Preston Smith, and over the last 3 seasons, he's got 25 sacks, 27 tackles for loss, 51 QB hits, 3 forced fumbles, 9 passes defensed. So again, good numbers. But then you have to realize that Preston played all 3 years and Zadarius only played 2. Okay. Right. So Zadarius is a clearly and objectively better player than Preston Smith.
Yes.
Nobody would argue with that. So ask yourself why Green Bay kept Preston Smith for more money than Zadarius Smith just made.
And they're the same age.
The same age. One is clearly better than the other. They are all in to win right now.
Yes.
That's what they've promised Aaron Rodgers. They brought back, I forget how old Aaron is now, but he's old. They brought him back. They are all in to win right now.
Yeah.
And they brought back an objectively worse pass rusher in this situation, taking Preston over Zadarius. Why do you think that is?
So, I mean, you have to bring that up, right? Like Zadarius Smith, like a player getting hurt isn't going to eliminate you from getting a big contract necessarily, right? Now, age plays a factor and anything like that, but when we bring up questions about Marcus Peters, Marlon Humphrey, Ronnie Stanley, like, I don't know how they're going to come back. Like, I mean, these guys are younger players at least, right? Preston Smith is 30. He's got a back injury, and back injuries,
Zadarius.
Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith, he's got a back injury, and look, man, like it's concerning that Green Bay, that's all in for right now, says we'll go with Preston Smith over Zadarius Smith, right? That's a little concerning to me. Not saying Zadarius Smith won't come back, but there is some risk there, right? And why did we decide to go and get him? Because the price point was right. It wasn't because we looked at him and said he can put our defense over the top. I mean, we might get lucky, right? He might just stay healthy and he can give you production, or he could give you exactly what you paid for, which ain't a lot, right? Because I mean, while we're sitting here talking about Zadarius Smith, Von Miller just reported he's signing with the Bills, 6 years, $120 million.
Right. Chandler Jones got 17 million. Hassan Reddick got 15. Max Crosby got almost 25. You didn't pay for an elite pass rusher. Now he played like that his first couple of years in Green Bay, and obviously we hope that he's healthy, 100% healthy, and he's fine. But we're just saying, maybe pump the brakes a little bit. There's a reason that his number was that low.
Yeah, Dandy, we got the stats. And what's up, King of Pugo, man? Thanks for coming through. Look, like I said, like it's fine, right? We're not paying a whole lot. Little bit of risk there because we did invest some money into him, but it's not a high risk. It's I would say moderate risk, but high reward, right? Because if he stays healthy, I think we have a really good edge rusher there. Or it could be a combination of, hey, yeah, his back doesn't, because of his injury and his age, he's not going to be the same, but he'll be solid.
Yeah.
And that's fine too. And this is what we try to tell you guys with Justin Houston last year. We said, yeah, good signing. You pay nothing for him and you'll get a little bit of production, a little bit, but don't expect a lot. All right. And some of you people are mad about that, but you get exactly what you pay for. That's how this league works now. We're not that much smarter, or we're not smarter at all than any of these other teams, especially the ones that are competing for championships. We're not outsmarting anybody in today's NFL. Like everybody is scrutinizing everything. Analytics is a much bigger thing now. Everybody is looking at this stuff, right? So like we have to pay for talent. This might work out in our favor, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, can Zadarius Smith block? Can Marcus Williams block? You know what I'm saying? Like we need people that are going to block for Lamar, because none of these guys on defense are going to be asked to win us games. None of them.
Right.
It's always going to be on Lamar Jackson, and you giving Lamar Jackson not a whole lot so far. It's still early, and there's still guys out there for them to get. So I gotta preface that, right? Like they can still get Lyle Collins, they can still get JC Treader, and if they got those two, I would be happy, and I would say, Now go get a wide receiver.
Yes.
And shout out to Twan, man. Shout out to you, man.
My bad. I didn't even see the notification.
I don't want to hear about the cap anymore. Yeah. That's another thing too. Hashtag defund the defense, right? The cap is cap. The cap is not real. Like there are some triggering things that we say on this show that some of y'all do not like to hear. I listen to some of these spaces, right? I see what people are tweeting out there. You know, if you got a problem with it, man, all I can say is cry about it because we're gonna keep saying it over here. And it's not real. The cap is something that it's an ideal that's agreed upon amongst the owners.
Yes.
And it's only there to keep players' salary down and to keep their profits up. But if a year comes, like in the NBA, this happened in the NBA, right? When he did the amnesty hour, right? Multiple teams, a bunch of teams, the right teams get themselves in a little cap mishap, if you will, and they can't find a way out of it. It only takes 5 minutes to get on the phone, come up with a vote, and say, we're changing it.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't even worry about it. The NBA did exactly this.
Yeah.
Too many teams made some bad contracts.
Really bad investments. Joakim Noah got, I believe it was like a $68 million deal.
Worth every penny.
Post Tom Thibodeau.
Worth every penny.
Grinding his knees into nothing.
I love
Jerome James got a huge contract based off of one playoff series. A bunch of bad deals.
Yeah.
And the NBA was like, all right. You can erase one deal.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. The players still got their money, and NBA teams just got to take one contract off of their cap.
Yeah, because it's made up. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. If enough owners decide we need more money to play our game, there'll just be more money. Simple as that.
Now, all that said, I like what Baltimore's done overall. So far in free agency. Marcus Williams is an upgrade in the secondary. Za'Darius, assuming he stays healthy, that makes a nice trio with Bowser and Owe. Morgan Moses, like I said, he's an upgrade at right tackle. They still need to figure out center. They still need to figure out left guard. I don't want to hear about Patrick McCarry. Patrick McCarry is a backup. He's a backup who you have a lot of confidence in, right? And he can play on any one of those positions. That makes him very valuable. But no, I don't want to roll out and say, Pat McCarry is starting at center, because then what happens if somebody does go down at that point, right?
Right.
If Morgan Moses gets hurt, then you move Pat McCarry over, and who's your center? But regardless, they need to put in work there. I will say this: I don't want to hear anything about defensive player at 14 at this point. And I certainly don't want to hear about a need on defense at 14.
Jordan Davis.
No, I don't want to hear anything about a need on defense at 14, because nobody's talking about what Baltimore needs right now when they made these signings. We're just excited because it's defensive players. They didn't need Marcus Williams. They wanted Marcus Williams.
Yep.
They didn't need Za'Darius Smith. They wanted Za'Darius Smith. Now, had they gone out and signed interior defensive linemen, I'd be like, okay, they're signing needs. They don't really have guys there. Had they gone out and just signed O linemen, okay, they're signing needs. They have holes there. These are luxury signings, and nobody cares. Everybody's pumped about luxury signings. So I better see Garrett Wilson or Drake London at 14.
So I want to make a point about this too, because the other argument for not going O-line early in the draft is, you can get guys in the later rounds. You usually get right tackle. You can get right tackles in the second or third rounds. You can get, you don't get guards in the first round. You get them in the second or third rounds. Marcus Williams isn't a first round pick.
No.
Za'Darius Smith isn't a first round pick. You can get those guys later. Right. Marcus Williams was a second round pick. Yep. Za'Darius Smith was a
fourth or fifth.
Yeah.
Fourth or fifth. I want to say fourth.
Yeah, Za'Darius Smith was he was later. Right. So two big signs that Ravens fans are excited about, they were later picks. So you can do it on a defense as well.
Yeah.
Again,
but you don't ever hear that.
Yeah, hashtag defund the defense, man. You can get those guys later. And for a team that's historically good at getting defensive players later on, we should be more for that now.
Yeah.
Right. It's time to get it right on offense. Listen, man. just keep in mind, Lamar ain't signed, right? And Lamar's going to do everything he needs to do to be ready for the season. He's going to go out there. He's going to be ready to go. If that O-line is a mess for the third year in a row, look, man, good luck, right? That's going to be a tough negotiation. I'm not saying he's not going to sign, but it's going to be tough going into the offseason. And he's looking at his line saying, what are y'all doing for me? I see all the money over there, but what are y'all doing for me?
And again, I'll just say this as well, right? Because, okay, yeah, everybody in Baltimore loves having a top-notch defense. It's kind of their thing, right? You didn't go out and get yourselves the best pass rush out there. You know what I'm saying? You didn't go out and get the best safety out there. I mean, the Chargers are going to come to town with Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa rushing Lamar Jackson. Do you think that they're worried about Oweh and Zadarius Smith? I don't think so.
The Bills just got Von Miller, man.
The Bills just added Von Miller to their pass rush. Like, so they're not even going all out on defense, and the defense is good enough for them to win. The defense is good enough for them to win the Super Bowl. It has been since Lamar's been there. What hasn't been good enough is the offense.
I ain't gonna lie. If we had traded for Khalil Mack, I'd have been that got me a little excited.
Yeah, because playmakers on defense is what you need.
I said, all right, let me shut up. Yeah, let me shut up.
And I don't really view Zadarius in that way. He's a good player.
Yeah,
even a very good player. The first couple of years in Green Bay, but I don't look at him in the same light as Khalil Mack. I don't look at him in the same light as J.C. Jackson, who the Chargers also signed. He's a playmaker. He makes game-changing plays. I don't really think about Zadarius Smith that way, but we'll see.
All right, let's read a few comments here. We'll spend a little more time on this. Look, it's basically this, and we're gonna talk about Deshaun Watson and the chances the Panthers still have.
And Project Pat.
Yeah, we're not talking about the fullback. I've already decided we're not doing that. 75 people in here, man. Make sure you hit that like button, and if you're new, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
Thank you, Justin. 5th round for Zadarius.
5th round. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that, man. Make sure you subscribe to Justin P too. Okay, KTSE Sports Talk. That's what I'm talking about, man. Mr. J says Von Miller is a 2-time Super Bowl champion who has made important plays to secure those rings. He can do whatever, ask for whatever he wants because he's proven to get the job done every time. Yeah, yeah, yes. You can do that. You can do that. Danny says this should be the last defense anything. I agree, but it won't be because Josina Anderson also reported that they're also trying to bring in Michael Pierce, but there's a little cap situation right now, right? They don't quite have the money yet, but that just tells me they're going to rework some deals, open up some cap to bring in Michael Pierce. And I also want to point out, Zadarius Smith was on this team, and we chose not to pay him. Michael Pierce was on this team. We chose not to pay him. And at the time, we all thought Michael Pierce was going to be the guy, and we we're going to let Brandon Williams go because he cost too much money. And when it came down to it, it was like, nah, we'll keep Brandon Williams, right?
Yeah, and I will say this about Marcus Williams. What I like about that signing is he's a young guy coming into his prime. They're not buying the decline. They're buying the decline in Zadarius Smith. He already had his 2 best years. Mm-hmm. His first 2 years in Green Bay, he had 26 sacks. I don't think you're getting that Zadarius Smith. You're buying the decline.
Yeah. And honestly,
with Morgan Moses, you're buying the decline. It was pretty cheap, but you're buying the decline.
And this isn't any hate on Zadarius Smith. He doesn't have to go and be a 13 sack guy for him to work out here. He can be 7 to 8 sacks, and it's fine.
Well, I mean, based off of what everyone has been telling us for a year, he should be the number 2 edge rusher in Baltimore this coming season, right? Is always still a superstar?
Well, but that's what I was getting to, right? Bringing in Zadarius Smith, bringing in or trying to go after Michael Pierce. There are talks that they're interested in Bobby Wagner. These all tell me that they acknowledge that they failed horribly throughout the years putting together this defense. You're spending a lot of high picks. You're spending a lot of money on the defensive side of the ball, but you want to go and get Bobby Wagner, not because you think he's a complimentary piece to Patrick Queen. It's because Patrick Queen can't play that position. Right, well, and you want better there. No, they drafted Patrick Queen to be the middle linebacker. Now you're figuring out he's better at weak side linebacker. He's Peanut Owasu, right? That you didn't want to pay. Okay, fine. But that's why you don't draft middle linebackers in the first round. We cut CJ Mosley because we didn't want to pay that money for a middle linebacker. Got it. Then why'd you spend a first round pick on a middle linebacker?
You know, I think the Bobby Wagner stuff is worse than that. I think they want Bobby Wagner because everybody longs for the days of Ray Lewis and Ed Reed.
Yeah, you're not going to get that either.
No. And you know, we were talking in our Discord the other day, and look, Ed Reed missed the playoffs 4 out of his first 6 years in the league. Yeah. Even though they had great talent on defense.
If we had,
and then they got an above average quarterback and made it 5 straight years. And
some of you guys haven't actually seen, or you're too young to see those defenses, man. Like it's been a while, but like, you know, those early 2000s, mid 2000, 2006 or so, man, like our defense was literally putting up points for us when our offense couldn't score. Ed Reed would get us touchdowns. Ray Lewis would get us a touchdown. You know, like, I mean, like that defense would literally put points on the board when we couldn't put points on the board. When it was a goal line situation and we had to stop the other team from getting in, the other team was not getting in. When the other team had to get in the field goal range to kick a field goal and win, the other team was not getting the field goal range. And everybody in Baltimore knew it. That's how dominant that defense was. When we went up at the end of the game, if there's 30 seconds left on the clock, game over. You're done. You're not getting anywhere near field goal range. That's not today's NFL, right? You can't build a defense like that now. That's why even now we're all excited about the defense. But once the season starts, you guys know how it works. You're not going to be expecting this defense to do something like that. You'll be expecting Lamar to do something amazing. And we should, because he's an amazing player. But you got to give him something to work with, man. And what we have right now is not enough.
Right. So I want to answer a couple of comments here.
Yes, yeah.
Jerome, who team y'all on? We're on the Ravens team. I mean, I'm a Panthers fan, but Jose's on the Ravens team. We want them to actually win. They had a top defense 3 years in a row, and they got embarrassed in the playoffs 3 years in a row because they were scoring 13 points a game. Whose team are you on?
Yeah. Like, who are you rooting for? Because clearly you just don't think Lamar can do it. Is that it? No. You just think you must think he's Kyle Bowler or Trent Dilfer. That's what it is. You think he's Trent Dilfer. You think Lamar can't carry this team. It's not on him. We need to go all in on defense and just Lamar just be a game manager. That's what you think, right? Come on.
What's going on, Godson?
What's up, man? Thanks for coming.
To answer our guy Q here, he said, if safety wasn't a need, who did y'all have the Ravens starting in safety? Brandon Stevens, who they drafted to play safety in the third round last year. You got Chuck Clark. You drafted Brandon Stevens. You've got Ardarius Washington, who everybody again was telling me how great he is. Geno Stone is out there. They could have started, and you could have brought back Deshaun Elliott.
Oh, I think Deshaun Elliott would have been cheaper. Yeah.
You know, it wasn't a huge area of need for Baltimore. Yeah, you can upgrade. You can upgrade any team at any position, basically. But it wasn't a need. They don't have interior D linemen. They don't have starters on the offensive line. Those were needs. This was a luxury at this point.
But this is our point, though, B. This is our point. When it comes to defense, if it's not the best that we can possibly get, like, fans are just like, well, we had to upgrade because it's not the best. It's not the best player, right? Yeah. Or it's not one of the top players. When it comes to the offense, it's just get whoever. Morgan Moses, you're pumped about Morgan Moses,
right?
Morgan Moses is above average, and if you tell me he's not that, I can't even argue that.
Yeah, because he's not that.
Like he's average to above average, solid, not great. For all of this, we should have kept Orlando Brown and just paid him like a left tackle to man the right side, right? Like that's what we should have done. Orlando Brown, y'all love to dump on Orlando Brown. He was a Pro Bowler. He played at an All-Pro level last year. Like, how many sacks he gave up? 2, maybe 3. Like not that many, right? Morgan Moses gave up 4. Fine, I'll take it. That's a lot less than Villanueva, but he's all right.
Yeah,
and that's the only move we've made on offense so far. Still early. We can make some other moves. But we spent up most of our cap so far on the defensive side.
It's
right now,
priority.
Yeah. This is a reactionary show. We're reacting to what's going on right now. It's not done yet, right? We gotta see what moves we make. But so far, not impressed. And I don't give EC the benefit of the doubt. He's been the GM for 3 years. Shout to Anonymous says, should Mr. Jackson focus on signing with another team? No, he's focused on, he's doing the right thing. He is all in for this year. I believe Lamar is 100% focused on this year, trying to get a Super Bowl for the Ravens, trying to be the best quarterback he can be, and then worry about in the offseason. Because for a player like Lamar, the money is going to be there. He doesn't have to worry about other teams. The other teams are going to come to him. They're going to, like, you see what's going on with Deshaun Watson. He missed a whole year. And the last time you saw him, he had great stats, but the team was awful.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a bunch of teams that are willing to give everything for this man.
Yes.
So the market will be there for Lamar Jackson. He don't have to worry about the teams. The teams are going to flock to him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's up to the Ravens to prove that they're worthy of his services.
And just says, I don't know. I'm happy with free agency so far. It's fine so far.
It's fine.
It's incomplete.
Yeah,
obviously, and yeah, they can go out and they can fill out the rest of those holes. Dapper Don says, who should the Ravens target on the offensive side? They need to go after a center. J.C. Treader, I think, is probably the best guy out there right now.
Yeah.
I would like to see them sign Juju. I'm a fan of Juju. I think he can play all over the line, but you put him on the
Allen
outside
Robinson
and let Hollywood move to the slot. I think that would be a great benefit for Baltimore. But
I also want to see them trade for Lyle Collins. He's available. We all know he's available. He's only making $10 million a year. You know, I think it's 3 years left on his contract. So you're talking about $30 million contract. And he's good.
They're also talking about him getting cut. And if he gets cut, I would say absolutely go after him. He can slide in right there at left guard and be a solid starter for Baltimore. And then if you do have any issues at tackle, he can also play tackle.
Yeah.
So I think that would be a great signing. But like I said, yeah, J.C. Treader, Lyle Collins, if he becomes available, because I don't think they're going to trade for that contract. I'd like to see them go and get a proven wide receiver like a Juju, like Allen Robinson, even Jarvis Landry, who I'm not a huge fan of. And then, in the draft, at that point, it depends on what they do with the rest of free agency, but I would like to see them really target a playmaker on offense. So, like, I would be fine if they skipped out on wide receiver in free agency, if they didn't sign one. That's fine with me, as long as you go at 14 and you get a guy who can make a difference at that position.
All right, and shout out to Akeem, Day One Ravens fan, says the best example is when we held the Bills to 10 points. Yes, in the divisional round of the playoffs, and still lost because we could only score 3 points. Exactly.
Yeah, the defense, they allowed 23 points in those 2 playoff games, and y'all scored 23 points.
Yeah,
in those 2 playoff games.
They played excellent, man. They played.
Yes. What's up, Darren? So I think the league needs to do something in the rules to make the defense matter more. Well, I mean, they've been changing their rules to make the defense matter less for years. I think we lost Jose there. But yeah, they the league wants points on the board. As we always say, we want points on the board. You want to see scoring. They don't want to see these shut down defenses. It's not as popular as high flying offenses. The Ravens and the Buccaneers and the Seahawks, like, those teams weren't as popular as the greatest show on turf.
Right. All right. We got a lot more to discuss. We're going to discuss a lot more, but yeah, we got to try to stick on schedule a little bit. We can't do another hour and 45-minute show tonight, guys. All right, it's got to be about hour and 15 minutes. But it's time, guys. It is time for you gambling degenerates to get your pen and paper ready. But you want to read one more comment?
Oh no, Jerome's comment said O-line is his top priority. Well, okay, then don't ask whose team we're on. Ask whose team EDC is on, because he didn't make it. He didn't make it his top priority.
Oh yeah. All right, gambling degenerates. All right, get your pen and papers ready. It's time for D Weezy to put some money in your pocket. Calvin really needs to watch this show. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, he's got a lot of time.
Definitely. If he wants to come on, we can make time for Calvin Ridley and
for real. And he's got the time. So
that's what I'm saying. So if anybody out there has a phone number, has a contact, wants to hit him up, let him know.
That's right.
D Weezy will be happy to have him on.
There you go. There we go. So
Yeah.
how we doing, man? How we doing?
We doing good. Last week I went 3-2, 0-1 on the NHL play, so I went 3-1 on the NBA. As you've told people before, the NBA is something I've been hot with all season. A couple of the games I had Denver -4.5. They won by 6. Chicago won by 6 as well, covering the -5 I had. Milwaukee covered on the -5, winning by 9. Interesting little fact, something I noticed, last week, Raven Ron always has, a question, a couple teams, a couple plays. Well, I was right on both his plays with the parlay, and I also said that over was just a little bit too high. And sure enough, that Milwaukee-Atlanta game finished at 239, and the total was 240.
All right.
Yeah.
That's a terrible beat right there.
It's an amazing win if you was on the under. Yeah. So it's a matter of perspective there. So, to keep things on schedule, let's keep it rolling. Going into this week, it's just straight NBA. But in the Chicago Bulls Jazz game, I'm going with the over 224 there. We got Phoenix Suns playing Houston, and if I'm not mistaken, it was something I was trying to look up, but Houston in that game, or not Houston, excuse me, but Phoenix, they on the road against the spread have been a strong team. And that was something I was looking at as far as them, even though it's a big spread of -11, I'm going with Phoenix. Philadelphia versus Cleveland tonight on it. Excuse me. -3.5 on the 76ers. I think they're going to be able to cover that, even though we might have a bit of a lower scoring game because the style that Cleveland likes to play. And then even though it didn't cash for me last week, going back to Charlotte and another over, which I took under 240. Now, as I've said before, it seemed like Charlotte was a big over team for a large majority of the year. Once you get around the All-Star break, you can't see things sort of reset. It's been a little bit of a half and half. Currently, the game is projecting the live line at 247.5, so I'm not too terribly worried there. They're about to go into halftime, just under 2 minutes left. 63-55. If that ain't a score for you, I don't know what is. All right, and so then going into my last play of the night, I'm going with the player prop. Steph Curry over 4.5 threes. With the return of Green in the system, the way they like to play, Steph has less of that point guard role that's needed out of him. He can move more without the ball in his hands. He's playing well. He had a great night last night on his birthday. He's been known to get hot before. This is a number. If we specifically talking about Steph Curry, if the number is 4.5, I'm completely comfortable playing that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Raveron, he said he's betting tonight over Hornets Hawks.
I'm just saying.
240.5.
I was on the over last time. I'm sitting at that same number, so we on the opposite sides of that one right there.
All right. Okay.
All right. So why don't you? I know no time for a hockey play this week. I know you've been getting ready for the big event of the week. Why don't you give us a little odds on who might be going number 2 overall in the LCFL fantasy draft later on?
Now see, if you had looked at it originally, the odds would have opened up somewhere probably around, maybe in the 1,200 range. Somebody picking at 12 might find a way to move into the top 10 and maybe negotiate something. Well, you don't just stop there. You get to the top 10 and you put that work in. 8 just ain't good enough. So, why not go find that number 2 pick in the draft, Mr. D Weezy? Y'all think it's not just a team, it's a way of life. Team cutthroat, baby.
I'm gonna tell you,
All right.
I think number 2 is gonna end up being Lamar Jackson, and then Lamar Jackson is going
How
up
you're
for
wrong.
sale. Going up for sale.
Oh,
You're wrong.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
that's what I said. Who's it gonna be? Who's it
An
gonna be?
offensive player.
It's not gonna be the Ravens. I heard they made a lot of moves. It might be the Ravens.
Pretty good odds on that in a league without IDP. Thank you, Derek. We'll see you a little bit later, man.
All right, take it easy,
everybody. They're out there.
All right, that's Derek. You can find more of him on the Lunch Money Bets channel on our Discord. Also, on our overtime show, he's always hanging out with us after the show was over. If you want to be a part of that, just go to patreon.com/LBHT Show. All right, there are 2 tiers. Be real quick. Tell them about the tiers. It's $3 tier and a $10 tier.
So the $3 tier is going to get you, both tiers will get you into the overtime show that we've been talking about, where we're going to have our draft tonight. It's a lot of fun. All the patrons are in there. We talk about anything and everything for however long it lasts. The $3 tier will also get you into the NFL Pick'em League, where we give away a custom LBHT trophy for the winner. At the $10 tier, you're going to get into the Fantasy Football League, where we're giving away the custom championship belt at the end of every season. It's also going to get you the ability to request specific content, articles, videos, anything like that on any topics that you want. Both tiers will also get you into, it's a little late now, but they will get you into the NCAA bracket challenge. And both will also get you entrance into our Discord channel.
There you go. And also, if you are a boxing fan, real quick, make sure you subscribe to our other channel, Ring Kings. Hold on, let me take this down. Ring Kings Podcast. Go ahead and subscribe over there. We do that show with our friend OTR Mike. You guys know him in the chat. He's been on the show a couple of times. So, we just completed our 5-part series on the top 25 boxers of all time. That was a lot of fun.
Yes, it was.
Yes. How we compiled the list. That was fun and just discussing it. So go ahead and check that out. Also, if you want to buy some merch, if you want one of these nice hashtag defund the defense shirts, okay, it's right there on the store. Okay, if you like anything that we're wearing, anything that B's wearing, you want a mug, you want water bottle, we got all that stuff on the shop. Okay, lbhtshow.com/shop is where you go and get that. All right, and shout out, my guy Demon Lou was here. That's what's up. What's going on? Just Gabe, what's good? Hey, what's good with you, man? Thanks for coming through. Appreciate it. And I got Keelan came through with the donation, man. Shout out to Keelan.
Keelan.
Says if the Ravens don't either sign a producing veteran receiver or get one of the blue chip receivers early in this year's draft, EDC is still mid as a GM. Defense and O-line signings are great, but Lamar can't throw the football to players EDC signed. Good points, man. Look, but this is my thing with EDC. He makes two average signings, because this is even before Zadarius Smith. He makes 2 average signings because Marcus Williams he's good. I like Marcus Williams. Moses, he's all right, but everybody's just like, apologize to EDC, and then we go and get Zadarius Smith, and nobody asks any questions. It's just, he's doing it all. He's back. EDC. All right. Like that erases the last 3 years. No. Like, I don't give him any benefit of the doubt. He has to prove everything to me. Right. Me as a fan. I'm not his boss, but like in terms of like how we criticize him. Nah, man, like you gotta show me something. And just getting these signings doesn't move the needle for me, because they're not even what you needed to fix.
Well, listen, this is what I told Derek as well when he getting hype off and making multiple trades. I'm like, you gotta translate the draft picks into wins, man. Anybody can accumulate picks. Anybody can go out there and sign players in free agency. Jacksonville signed all of them.
Yeah.
Y'all think Jacksonville's gonna win a bunch of games?
Yeah. All right. We want to keep the Ravens talk going in a minute, but we got to discuss the other major news.
The actual news.
The actual news.
Yes, the actual story that's going on right now. Don't nobody give a damn about Zadarius Smith and
they
Morgan
really don't,
Moses, except y'all.
I know.
Y'all
That's okay.
Only ones, y'all, man.
Look, Deshaun Watson is going to he's going to have a new home here shortly, whenever he decides.
Yes.
I honestly thought it would have happened already, but he's taking his time talking to a few teams. But it looks like it's coming down to Panthers, Saints, Falcons, maybe, and the Browns.
Mm-hmm. So the latest rumor that I saw, and y'all can correct me if there's anything that's come out since then. But the latest rumor I saw from Sheena Quick, who's a Panthers writer, is that the meeting that he had today with Atlanta was the greatest comeback since 28-3, and that they might be the front runners to land Deshaun Watson now. She said the conversation moved on to, what pieces they're going to surround him with. Because, Deshaun is from that area, not from Atlanta itself, but from, nearby. And they've been kind of, they put together a great presentation apparently, and are trying to sell him on coming home. And, they told Matt Ryan, they said a week or two ago that they were going to be pursuing Deshaun Watson. So they've been getting prepared.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. If he goes to Atlanta, you can thank Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Right. The legacy of Michael Vick, like the impact that he had in Atlanta. I mean, and he grew up in that area. And Warwick Dunn, who bought Deshaun Watson his first house, right?
Yeah, I bet he regrets that now.
Yeah. But you can. I think Michael Vick played. If he goes there, he would have played a big impact, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like walking in those footsteps.
That's exactly when I first heard, when you said that they might be in the front runners. All I thought immediately was he's going to pay off on the promise of Mike Vick.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen. Like, he's not going to Atlanta, right? Like, why would you go to Atlanta? Why would you do that? For what? They don't even have. I mean, they technically they have Calvin Ridley, but I mean,
I think I don't think the Browns are in. I don't, and I don't fault the Browns. I mean, they went all in, and yes, they hurt Baker's feelings. We can talk about Baker a little bit, but look, man, this is what we're talking about when we say be aggressive, right? They know,
they
like
want an adult at quarterback.
they know Baker. Look, you give all the lip service that you want. You're being a professional, but when there's an opportunity to upgrade, man, you got to try to upgrade, or you're not doing your job, right?
Yeah.
So they went out there and they said, "Hey, look over here, psst, come here. We got something for you." All right.
Yeah, Derek. He gives away those houses that he builds. Like he pays for them and then gives them away to people in need. We always say on here, you don't know any of these guys. No. You don't know. I mean, Deshaun Watson seemed like a great guy, right? Yeah. You don't know any of these athletes. You know their public persona. Warwick Dunn is the only person. Warwick Dunn is the only person that I'm confident is a great human being.
Yeah. To be fair to Sean, there may just some misunderstanding there. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, 20 of them is fine.
Yeah. But look. I still think the Panthers have a shot. Obviously New Orleans has a shot, and they're kind of operating like it's a done deal. He's going to New Orleans. Mm-hmm. The thing, but see, New Orleans can do this because even if they miss out on Deshaun Watson, they still have Jameis Winston. And yes, that's a major downgrade from Deshaun Watson, but it's a major upgrade from Taysom Hill.
Well, and not just Jameis Winston. There are other guys available. Marcus Mariota is a free agent. Jimmy G is available via trade. Derek Carr sounds like he's available via trade. They'll get something done. Yeah. Because I don't know, if y'all haven't noticed, the rules don't apply to New Orleans and only New Orleans, I guess.
Yeah, it's funny because New Orleans and Green Bay were the two teams that people wanted to prop up of. This is why you can't keep kicking the can down the road. It's going to catch up to you at some point. And both teams just completely erased all of that. Not only did New Orleans erase $75 million and being over the cap, they're like, and we want Deshaun Watson, and we're gonna go after some other players too. Yeah. They don't care because they feel like they can still compete even without Deshaun Watson. That's aggressive, and that's confidence right there. All right.
This right here is the only reason I think Cleveland's in it, because it would serve the NFC South right. That 3 out of the 4 teams are trying to get Deshaun Watson, and none of them do.
Now, okay, we'll go back to Cleveland for a second. Now, I don't think Cleveland's going to do it. If they don't get him, what happens with Baker Mayfield?
A lot of the talk is he'll end up in either Seattle or Indianapolis as the starter there, which why would you just get a starting job? I don't know. But I don't know what Cleveland themselves are going to do. I saw one rumor saying, look for Jimmy G to be their quarterback if they don't get Deshaun Watson. So we'll see. I mean, whatever. If they don't get Deshaun, they're just not going to have a good quarterback. Essentially,
right?
Is really what's going on.
Okay, so B. So your pick. Where's Deshaun go?
Man, I still think it's the Saints.
You think it's the Saints?
Yeah.
All right, B thinks it's the Saints. I think it's the Panthers. You guys put in the chat real quick. Where does Deshaun Watson end up? If he ends up in Cleveland, that would be interesting for our division, boy. That'll be interesting.
Interesting or devastating for Baltimore?
No, we got this sweet defense, man. It's all good, man. I ain't scared.
Yeah.
I ain't scared. You know, Deshaun Watson, he want to come over here and play this style defense, then be my guest, right? Davon says man. Baker to Indy looks likely. Yeah.
What? But here's the question: like, if it's really maturity issues, like Cleveland is saying, like that's a big part of it. Why would a team want to bring him in right after they got rid of Carson Wentz? Who the big thing with Carson Wentz was zero accountability and nobody likes him.
I don't think it's the same thing with Baker. I don't think Baker is not a likable person with coaches, and well, I gotta take it back because he didn't get along with Hugh. But I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't see the two of them as the same. I think he's more likable. I get that feeling. I don't know, but I feel like he's more likable than Carson Wentz. If that makes sense. And shout out to Poon Gent, man. What's going on, man? He says Baker and kick rocks. Yes. Thanks for coming through. Just Allen says Panthers. Q Jackson says it's the Panthers.
Okay.
Andrew says it's the Saints. Ravens O-line says Panthers. Okay. Bless you. Noah says rooting. He goes to the Panthers. Okay. There you go. Raven Ron says Saints. Big Red says Falcons. Okay. All right. And Felipe says Browns. All caps. Okay. Felipe says bring on the competition. There we go. Okay. There you go. Yeah. I think the one thing I haven't heard this rumor from coming out of any other camp, that Tepper card of you can pick your own coach. How do you beat that?
But if that's true.
If it's true.
It is.
If it's true.
I doubt that very much.
But that's next level dedication right there.
Yes.
And why not? If you're willing to give up
dedication or next level desperation.
All these teams are desperate. If you're willing to give up 3 first-round picks, 2 or 3 third-round picks, and 3 good players, you've already jumped the shark, right? Like you might as well go.
No. That's not jumping the shark.
It's not jumping the shark.
The Saints gave up. The Saints gave up their entire draft class for Ricky Williams. Yeah. Let's look. No. It is jumping the shark. You know what jumping the shark means? Do you guys know what jumping the shark means? That means when a show has basically gone off the deep end, and they do ridiculous stuff for ratings, right? But it comes from the show Good Times, right? Where Fonzie jumped over a shark on his motorcycle. Good Times.
Not Good Times. Happy days. Happy days. Not Good Times. My bad. Good Times. Happy Days. Like all these feel good shows. Happy Days. It came from Happy Days, right? Where the Fonz jumped over a shark, right? And Henry Winkler talks about that episode, right? Because it was ridiculous. It was over the top. It was one of the highest rated episodes ever. Okay. So yes,
it was awesome.
Yes. So yes, these teams are jumping the shark.
And thanks to that, now we have the Fast and the Furious franchise.
Anthony Aver to the Raiders. Okay. Good for him, man. Good for him. All right. We can hit up bonus time. But real quick, I just want to throw us out here. Just gonna be like 10 seconds. Kyrie Irving got 60 points last night. Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Sure did.
Kyrie Irving got 60 points last night. Shout out to the Nets. We're gonna win a title this year, and we can go into bonus time. That's all I want to say. Over and done with. Okay, here we are. Bonus time. We got a few minutes. We got a few minutes. We got time. We got a little time here. We're right at the hour, so we can talk for a good 10, 15 minutes. Put something in the chat, and we will discuss it.
I know, because the ratings still got to go up.
Yeah. Like, do you want to jump over a shark?
This is what I'm saying, Q. Like, come on, man.
I'm sorry. I messed up.
You could not have picked a more different show.
I know. Good times never jumped the shark, by the way. Okay. All right, got a donation here. Shout out to Keelan. Says Robinson, Landry, Juju, Sanders, and even AB are still out there. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
EDC can sign one of those vet receivers or go draft Pickens, Christian Watson, or Jalen Tolbert to have a legit wide receiver room. Prochet, Duvernay, and Wallace ain't moving defenses in the playoffs. I'll say this.
Or the regular season.
I like Duvernay's role on this team. Mm-hmm. He does provide something in the offense.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah. You like his role because he's a returner and he's really good at it.
Well, yeah, obviously the returner part, but like just like a few snaps that he does on the offense, like he provides some value. It's not like it's not huge, but he does have a role in that offense. Not a huge role, I would say. He's solid. I'm all for him being there. I just don't think Prochet provides anything whatsoever. Tylan Wallace, I think you could see what he brings to the team in camp, but ultimately he should probably be cut for a better talent. There's just much more room. Even the starters, man. Oh yeah, 60 points, and he won't play again until next week. Yeah. Look, man. Look,
because of tracking devices in the vaccine.
That's why. That's
I
why
she didn't want to finish it there.
That's why they should have let him stay in the game and score 80. But even the stars that we have on the team, is like it's not enough for us to be like we're good at wide receiver. Hollywood Brown, okay. Right, like he's fine, but you can upgrade. Rashad Bateman, he's shown some potential, but he's not proven yet. So yes, absolutely, wide receivers should be on our radar, especially if we're going to spend money on a safety. And shout out to Suge, says her Steelers has one more big free agent signing. Feels like Ravens fans are laughing nervously at the Steelers. Look, man.
I like that Miles Jack signing, and there are rumors of another signing coming either tonight or tomorrow. So I mean, it's good for them. But their whole offseason is going to turn on whether or not Trubisky can play.
Yeah. Or if he ends up, remaining the starter. I think they still might draft a quarterback, and maybe they have like a QB battle or something like that. I don't think Trubisky is the guy.
And there's a word out here, and this is kind of exactly what I'm talking about with Baltimore, right? There's word that Danielle Hunter is available, and the Vikings are trying to move him. But they're having trouble because he has a high cap hit. But Danielle Hunter is an elite talent.
He's a difference maker.
Why would you go sign Za'Darius rather than looking to bring in Danielle?
Shout out to Oakland Trap House, man. It says the Ravens won free agency. I don't even want to look. I'm not gonna debate on that. I'll just say let's not use that terminology whatsoever. Okay? That's what they used south of 95. Okay, down there in Washington with the Washington team. They say this all the time. Oh, we won free agency. We won free agency, but they don't win anything else. So I don't care whether we win free agency or not. We didn't get the best players, but whatever.
No,
and also. He says Bills reached on Von Miller.
Bills reached on a better player than the Ravens signed?
But yeah, I mean, you could say it's a lot of money, but it's a better player. He's better than everybody we signed so far.
He's a hands down better player than Za'Darius Smith. They didn't reach. That's what that kind of talent costs.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. I mean, we got to understand what we're talking about here. Like we are so obsessed with getting steals that we throw talent to the side. Anonymous says, "Will Mr. AB and 2 O-lineman signings with the Ravens soon?" I don't think we're gonna get AB.
There's no chance they bring in AB. I think they'll sign another O-lineman though. I do think
we need to get 2 more. But I think we get at least 1 more. I
think they'll sign 1 more.
Yeah. But we have to understand the value of these guys. And just because these players get big contracts, you can't sit there and say, oh, they got fleeced. Oh, that's too much. No, we just don't pay enough.
This is what happened. Like Von Miller got way too much money. He's one of the best defensive players in the league, and he wasn't even the highest paid edge rusher this offseason.
Yeah, like why is it too much money? Like what's he not? I mean, how much should a top end edge rusher make? I understand it's hard to answer that because we don't ever go get top end players in free agency, right? But like, how much do you think he should be making? Like he's adequately paid. Mm-hmm. But again, we're so focused on getting a value meal. We don't look at what's actually, we're not looking at the actual nutrients in that meal, mm-hmm. Right? Keelan says, I've been in these Ravens Twitter spaces and Ravens fans want Prochet and Wallace to be a legit so bad. They still won't. Yeah, they still don't get that them not getting PT is an indictment on them. They couldn't get separation in college and they haven't done it in the NFL. They suck. Yeah. This whole thing. Oh, they just need more snaps. Well, why don't you say that for the defense? Why didn't how come Brandon Stevens didn't need more snaps?
Yeah.
Right. How come Darius Washington doesn't need more snaps? Right. Why didn't Chris Westry just need more snaps? Right. Like we got all these guys. We spent draft picks on most of these guys. Why are we going out there, especially at edge rusher, man? Like we just spent a first round pick on Oweh. We just paid Tyus Bowser. I mean, not a whole lot of money, but we gave him an extension. He was playing fine at the end of the year before he got hurt, but he'll be back. Why are we going out there spending big money on another edge rusher? Right? Because even though there's potential there, you guys still believe in Oweh. You want it right now. You want to see the results right now. You don't want to wait. But on the offensive side, McCarry could turn into our starter at center or right tackle. I don't know because he doesn't play great either place, but he could be that, right? Tylan Wallace, I mean, we only seen him on special teams, but he could be a starter. Prochet, he's got about 5 catches for his career, but he could, just some more playing time. That's all he needs, right? Change in mentality, man. Yeah, hashtag defund the defense. You forgot we paid Wolf too. Yeah, and Wolf said he's not retiring. So I feel good about that. Yeah, somebody tweeted out that he was considering retirement because his rehab isn't going well, or is kind of slow. But he came out and said he has every intention of playing
collecting
this year.
That money.
Yeah, that like I didn't really like the wording of it. Right? It's I have every intention of playing next year. Not no, I'm playing next year. I'll be back. I'll be on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be on the roster, or I'll collect that settlement. When they cut me, the medical settlement. Jonathan Washington says, "Why ain't Broderick Washington need more snaps? Exactly. Why don't we need Jordan Davis? Everyone wants the luxury players on defense, but rather let Lamar work with little to nothing." Yeah.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be mad. Look, but I wouldn't be mad at Jordan Davis if we were doing everything we needed to do on the offense. If we spent all this time fixing the O-line, if we did all the science with O-line and we got our wide receiver and we went out and got Jordan Davis.
If the rest of this free agency period is Lyle Collins, JC Treader, Allen Robinson, go draft whoever you want.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care. In fact, I would say trade up to get that guy if you need to.
Mm-hmm.
Because we got way too many draft picks to sit at 14. Especially if we're going to go and draft defense. I want us to go offense, but if we're going to draft defense, do not sit at 14. Trade up because we better not spend 5 4th-round picks. All right, you use those picks and trade up. We have 2 3rd-round picks, 5 4th-round picks. You ain't need to move up a few spots to get a special player. So just make sure you do it.
Yeah.
All right.
And make sure his name is Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Or what's that?
I don't care what position he plays. I don't care what position he plays as long as his name is Garrett Wilson.
Or Jameson Williams. John Hazel Ali says EDC woke up dangerous today.
You know what I really like about that? Like that is so fitting because the guy who said that is getting kicked out of his job.
He wrote a thank you letter today.
Yeah. The guy who said that originally wasn't dangerous at all.
Yeah. Fat Boy Cost says, no cap, the Ravens definitely did good in free agency. They did all right. They did all right.
They still have more to do to say that they did good.
Yeah, more work to do. Yep. They need to draft a center. You don't have to. I'd rather they get a veteran. I'd rather Treader. I really wanted us to get Jensen, but as soon as Tom Brady came back, he said, nope, I'm coming back. But I would like to get a good veteran center. NDT Sports says Julio Jones is available. I wouldn't mind kicking the tires on Julio Jones. He didn't have a good year last year. Injuries.
Julio's falling. His body's falling apart now.
It seems that way. It seems that way. If we got Julio Jones, I'd be fine with it, but we still need to get another wide receiver because we're not going to lean on that. You know what I mean? And
Melvin says we would draft a wide receiver in the first round every year. Yeah, because y'all ain't got any.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell Cincinnati to draft a wide receiver in the first round because they drafted the right wide receivers.
But Melvin will be the person to say draft the edge rusher every year.
Listen, they drafted Hollywood Brown first. He was the first receiver taken in that draft, and then there were 6 better ones that went after him. Of course, they need to do it until they get it right.
But he be the one to say we need a cornerback, and we have 2 All-Pro cornerbacks on the team.
Like I'm sorry, I hate that argument. Oh well, they drafted X number of players in this round because they did that in Carolina too. You know who the receivers were? Devin Funchess and Kelvin Benjamin. Doesn't mean anything. You have to draft good receivers.
Do it until you get it right. Yeah, Julio might be washed up. You might be right, man. You might be right. We might just it's one of those things. Don't even try to take a risk, man. Get somebody that still got it. And there's the other third of our Ring Kings podcast, Mr. OTR Mike. Was good. He will also be joining us for the draft here pretty soon. It's going to be starting shortly.
Time to head out.
We'll read a couple more comments and then we'll get up out of here. If you guys want to hang out with us on the Overtime Show, right below, patreon.com/LBHT Show. If you have a little as $3 in your pocket, you can be a part of it, man. We have lots of fun. Usually we on the show, we just talk about anything and everything, and we will on this show too. But this show is going to be consumed by our first fantasy draft, Dynasty Fantasy Draft. All right, it's going to be a lot of fun. So come hang out with us.
Since they got 2 All-Pro corners, neither finished the season. Guess what? They got 0 All-Pro receivers. So, I mean,
didn't Bateman get hurt too?
Yeah.
If Bateman doesn't have 1,000+ yards and 7+ touchdowns this season, he's not that guy and isn't a number 1 wide receiver. Ravens need to get out of this hypothetical mentality on offense and go get for sure players. They can't hope for Bateman to be a number 1. He needs to be a number 1. Absolutely. Hey, so I'm curious because
yes, Danity, it is at 9 p.m. tonight.
I don't think about that draft.
You talking about the
other draft, the second,
it's at the end of April, the 28th, 29th, I believe. May 4th is the Wednesday following the draft. I know that because I said it for our rookie draft.
Yeah. So and we'll be live streaming for the draft. So we'll give you more information when we get closer to that. So I mean, for anybody that wants to use that excuse of, well, they didn't finish the season, they got hurt. I mean, one, do you think they're never going to come back at all? Like, you think players can come back from major injuries? If so, why we bring in Zadarius Smith?
Yeah.
Right. And also, if that's the way you feel, why isn't running back high on your list? We lost all of our running backs last year. So why aren't we saying we need to go running back?
Lamar hasn't finished the last 2 seasons.
Yeah. Do we need to get a quarterback?
Ronnie Stanley hasn't finished the last 2 seasons.
Well, some people will say we need a left tackle, but nobody's saying we need to go get a left tackle in the first round. That's the other thing too, right? Nobody believes in Ronnie Stanley. Either there's something wrong with him. He's not going to be the same, or he's soft or whatever. But nobody's saying we really need to trade up and get a left tackle.
Zadarius.
Yeah. Oh, but we got to get defense. We're going to get the left tackle. Can we get that later on in the draft too? Right? Hashtag defund the defense. Get your head out the clouds, man. Defense, those 2000 defense ain't walking through that door.
I was going to defense get your head out of somewhere else, but
oh wow, you gotta be nice to the people, man. We just talking football. See, look, that's just nerves on beat.
The sand, Jose.
That's just nerves over there, okay?
Head out of the sand.
Because Deshaun Watson is close. He's getting nervous, right?
Deshaun is not close.
He's close. But
I was going to read that tweet from Pro Football Talk. Let me see if I have it up here still. Per source, Deshaun Watson is incredibly torn. He was impressed by the presentations from all 4 teams. They have made it very difficult for him to make a choice. There's no specific timetable for a decision.
There's only so here's what's going to set it over the top. Cam Newton. You guys are gonna bring Cam Newton back,
and he's gonna say, "Take your ass to Atlanta."
He's gonna smile. He's whisper in the ear, like, "This is my team."
Cam is not going to campaign for Carolina for anything.
But this is why it's important to treat your heroes well.
Yes.
Because if you and Cam are on the same page right now, Cam Newton should already be locked up, right? He should already just be under contract. And hold on 1 second, Clea. I'm gonna get to that 1 second. But he should already be under contract. No worries. He should understand his role of I'm a mentor or whatever. Or I'm the backup, right? Because Deshaun doesn't need a mentor, but I'm the backup. But he should be on board with recruiting Deshaun to Carolina, right? But like B said, I mean, you've messed it up twice, and now it's just you can't rely on him, right? And I'll bring this back up again. Keelan says EDC signings are overrated, and he didn't turn a new leaf. Ravens always have prioritized a paid defensive players. Yep. EDC just watched these quarterbacks put up crazy numbers in the playoffs against the best defenses and didn't get any real weapons for his QB.
Yeah. And Fat Boy, we'll go out on this comment. He sound like low-key haters. Let me just ask you this. Is Baltimore getting better or worse under EDC?
Well, I have a question.
Better or worse?
I have a question.
Because you know what the answer is.
So I have a question. Let's say we didn't have Lamar Jackson right now, and we're one of the teams pitching to Deshaun Watson. What's appealing to us? What are we going to pitch to Deshaun Watson? Right? What are we going to say? Man, you could throw to Hollywood, right? Yeah, I know. Other teams got Michael Thomas. You got Kyle Pitts. You got. I mean, even Cleveland had. Even though they got rid of 2 of their wide receivers, they still got Amari Cooper, right? Like, other teams have other weapons. What's our O-line looking like? Well, we just got Morgan Moses. You like Morgan Moses? We got Morgan Moses.
Yeah, he wasn't good enough for the Jets, so we got him real cheap.
Yeah. I mean, he's a sweet deal. Hey, would you like to look at our defense, though? I mean, you can't throw to any of them. In practice, maybe, but no, not in games. What's appealing to this team that a top tier quarterback this will want to come here?
Mark Andrews is appealing.
Yes,
but Mark Andrews can't be it. It's not Mark Andrews. So middle of the pack receivers and a bad O-line.
Is that enough? So he's looking at even the Panthers. The Panthers, their O-line is awful.
Much better.
The O-line is
much better.
The O-line is awful, but they still had DJ Moore. They got Robbie Anderson. They got Christian McCaffrey. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, he can look at that like
Rashard Higgins.
Oh, that's right. You signed Rashard Higgins. Congrats, man. Congrats.
Thank you.
New Orleans, you got Michael Thomas. Who's that other receiver? I keep forgetting his name.
I mean, their other receivers aren't very good, but they do have Michael Thomas.
They got Alvin Kamara.
Yeah, and Alvin Kamara and a good O-line.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, like, what are we using? What's our pitch? How we stack up to these other teams?
Okay, but one player doesn't make an O-line. That's just not the way that it works, and that's great.
And I agree, Trap House. I think he's the best. Well, second best, because that's
Trent Williams.
That's Trent Williams.
Yeah. but yeah, I mean, that's great, but he doesn't make the entire O-line. The O-line is a unit. This
is just wishful thinking right here. This is just fancy right here. This is fancy.
Kyle Pitts plays tight end and had twice as many yards as Bateman.
I mean, you're projecting with Bateman, and that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. I love your confidence, Melvin. I love your I love the confidence,
I
man.
love laughing. So thank
I
you for
hope
that.
no, I ain't gonna laugh at you, Melvin. I really do hope Bateman turns out to be that guy.
Laughter is an involuntary response, so you can't hold that against me.
I really do
I
hope
read
Bateman turns into
funny.
that, man. I hope so.
And
But
we were very high on Bateman. I think Bateman is going to be that guy. But to say that right now, come on, man.
It's a joke. it's a joke, man. He's not Kyle Pitts. He's not. If you take Bateman over Kyle Pitts, I even want to ask who else you would take over. You take Bateman over. Our O-line, our ROC makes you run 3rd and 17 too. Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah. Big Red says Jimmy Seafood would be making a pitch. Yeah, you know that. All right. We're gonna finish there. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Again, if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button on your way out. If you are watching over on Twitch or Facebook or Twitter, make sure you give us a follow. Any one of the platforms that you're watching. If you use any of those platforms, go ahead and hop on there and give us a follow over there. But we are on TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at LBHT Show. So go ahead and give us a follow, man. And we are getting ready. Oh, it is time. And thank you, Matt Williams. He says good stream. Appreciate that.
Thank you, Matt.
It is time. It is time. We
so bad.
You what?
I want to ask him so bad.
Ask him what?
Matt.
Ask him. He's right there.
Yeah, all right. Matt, are you the same Matt that's in the that's running the spaces all the time on Twitter or no?
Yeah. Is his last name Williams? I don't know.
I don't know what his last name is because he's on Twitter.
Oh, well, okay. Well, Matt, is that you? You'll give a thumbs up or whatever. Sugar's already here on Twitch. He said, "I'm here too." Yes. Suge Knight 1323. Give him a follow because he's active on Twitch as well, man. Steelers fan, but he's still a good guy. Okay, yeah. Still a good guy sometimes when he's not talking about Steelers or the real Batman, Christian Bale. Matt says, "Which one?" So that is you. That is you. Yes. All right. Shout out to you. Okay. Before we sign off, drop your handle in there. Drop your handle in there so people can follow you. All right. Make sure you give him a follow, man, because he's always running spaces. All right. But yes, Brandon is ready. He says, let's draft. Okay, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna plug our stuff one more time for anybody that's new and wants to hang out. Patreon.com/LBHT Show. That's where you can go. Okay, if you have as little as $3 a month, it's well worth it, man. Every Wednesday after this show, we go over there and do an overtime show, and we just anything you want to talk about, we'll talk about, man. We have a lot of fun. We just sit there and hang out. But tonight, it's draft time. This is gonna be interesting. All right. Okay. It's time. B, are you ready?
Always ready.
All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will see you next time. Peace out.